Okay, dear students, once again I am in front of you to explain the rest of the things regarding the Planck's quantum theory. Yesterday we have discussed certain terminology about the Planck's quantum theory. 3 points were discussed. Now the fourth one will be discussing right now. So this is the rest part of the Planck's quantum theory which we have started discussing yesterday. So 3 points have been discussed. I think you might have understood. Now the fourth one will be discussing. So fourth point of the Planck's quantum theory is that at a time only one photon can be supplied to one electron or any other particles. Okay. Here what we can see here, at a time एक समय में जो फोटोन है वो एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन को सप्लाई करेगा. One photon will supply energy to only one electron. One photon cannot supply energy to more than one electron. Whatsoever the energy is there with one photon, that will be supplied to one electron only. This one photon will eject this one electron. So whatever energy is consumed in ejecting the electron, that is consumed, okay. And the rest part of the energy, whatever is remaining with the photon, that will be utilized for a kinetic energy. That will be utilized to move the electron into the circuit. To move the electron. So because once you have ejected the electron at the surface of the metal, then it is required to move the electron. Until and unless there is a movement in electron, there will be no electricity. So there must be movement, or for the movement you know that it must have some velocity, speed, and to have velocity and speed it must have kinetic energy. So the amount of the energy which is utilized to ejecting the electron, that is another part. And now the rest part, if rest of the energy which is now after ejecting the electron, whatever rest energy is remaining, that rest amount of energy is utilized to produce the kinetic energy to the electron, and with that kinetic energy, electron moves from one end to another, from negative terminal to positive terminal, and then from positive terminal it moves into entire circuit. So this is the case that at one time only one photon can be supplied. So on this basis only we can say that the quantum or photon. You know the photon it is utilized. It is a packet of energy in terms of light, and quantum is also a packet of energy irrespective of the type of energy. Quantum is used for all the. So photon is a type of quantum. Photon is a type of quantum. So that means photon or quantum cannot be subdivided. Just now we have discussed that one photon carry the total amount of energy. Part of energy is utilized to eject the electron, and the part of the energy which is remaining, that is utilized to produce the kinetic energy. So photon cannot be divided, cannot be distributed for more than one electron. Entire energy available with one photon will be utilized by only one electron. Photon cannot be subdivided, cannot be distributed. So that is the same thing we have written. One quantum cannot be divided or distributed to have energy to more than one electron. So one photon is available for one electron, two photon is available for two electron, three photon is available for three electron. So one for one is to one. One photon, one electron, two photon, two electron, three photon, three electron, three quanta, three electron, four quanta, four electron. So this is the ratio. Okay. Now the Planck's quantum theory gets over. Now we have studied the Planck's quantum theory. Now for what purpose we got a Planck's quantum theory? Because the Maxwell's wave theory does not explain the black body radiation and photoelectric effect. Maxwell's wave theory of radiation does not explain the black body radiation and photoelectric effect. We have already explained to you the black body radiation, so you recollect all those things to understand what I am saying now. So now this Planck's quantum theory of radiation is able to explain the black body radiation as well as photoelectric effect. So in black body radiation, what we see as we increase the temperature of a black body, the color of the black body changes. Why color of black body changes? That was not explained by the Maxwell's wave theory, but it is explained by Planck's quantum theory. So now the Planck's quantum theory says that as the temperature is increased, the energy emitted increases. That means amount of energy which is emitted increases. As you are increasing the temperature, the amount of release of energy is also increased. So when this increases, when this emission of energy increases, it increases the frequency of that particular radiation. When the frequency of radiation increases, then their wavelength will decrease. Because you know that frequency and wavelength has opposite relation with one another. So that is why this was not explained by Maxwell's wave theory. So how does this color changes? When color changes means a different kind of energy, different kind of frequency is there. So how come this frequency changes? When we are supplying the energy from the same source, how does it increase? How does this frequency changes? So it was not explained. When frequency changes, wavelength changes. So how does it happen? It was not explained by Maxwell's wave theory. But Planck's quantum theory says that as we increase the temperature, as we increase the temperature of a certain substance, then it starts releasing the energy in a high quantity. So amount of releasing energy increases. That means more and more amount of energy releases as we increase the temperature. And this is the one part of this game. Another thing, that as the release of energy is increasing, so it will increase the frequency of radiation also. It will increase the frequency of radiation also, the emission, radiation also. And when there is a increase in the frequency of radiation, there will be decrease in the wavelength of the radiation. So that is why when you hit the black body, it changes color. We have discussed all those colors when we were discussing the black body radiation. How does this color changes from? So okay, now you have understood how does this black body radiation and how does this Planck's quantum theory explains the black body radiation. Now we will discuss the photoelectric effect. I will discuss the photoelectric effect, explanation of photoelectric effect. We have already discussed what is photoelectric effect. When there is a fall of energy over the metal surface, it releases the energy. It absorbs the energy and releases the electron. This is called photoelectric effect. That due to the light energy, certain metal releases electron, and when this electron circulates into the circuit, this is called current. That's why with the help of light energy we can produce electricity. This is called photoelectric effect. Now actually what is happening in the photoelectric effects? So when we supply the light energy or some other kind of energy over the surface of metal, when we supply the light energy or some other kind of energy having a certain frequency over the metal surface, then what happens? The photon or the quantum. We know that the photon or the quantum, because the energy comes to the metal surface in a packet. It is a packet. Quanta or photon is nothing. It's a packet of energy. It is a packet of energy. That means it is a smallest packing energy, a smallest, and this is fixed for different metals. So when this photon or quanta falls over the metal surface, the entire energy of one photon or one quanta is supplied to that metal surface. Okay, when this is supplied, then electron get ejected, and we have observed that a minimum amount of energy is required to eject the electron. Minimum amount of energy is required to eject the electron. If we supply the energy less than that minimum amount, then there is no ejection of electron. What is this minimum amount of energy? How does this decides and where it is utilized? We know that there is a nucleus which is positively charged in an atom, and around this nucleus electrons are revolving around this nucleus which is negatively charged. So there is a force of attraction between the nucleus and the revolving electrons. That is why while revolving the electron it is attracted towards the center, that is called nucleus. So there is a force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. To eject the electron, this force of attraction between the nucleus and electron should be removed. It should be overcome. The energy which binds these nucleus and the electrons together are known as binding energy. This is called binding energy. So that binding energy must be removed. Then only electron will leave this orbit. Until unless this electron leave this orbit, it is not going to be ejected. And to eject that, this force of attraction between the nucleus and electron should be removed. So that is why we need that much energy. The force of attraction. The force of attraction between, to remove this force of attraction between the nucleus and electron, which is required, are known as binding energy. So we should supply binding energy. Once we supply the binding energy, then electron will come to the surface of the metal and it will remain at the surface. Then we need a energy to make them move from one part to another part. So until this electron will come to the surface and it will not move. If we supply the extra energy, then it will get the kinetic energy and then it will start leaving the metal surface and moving towards the positive terminal, and via positive terminal it will move into the circuit. So that means we need a minimum quantity of energy which is called binding energy. So the photon or the quanta which is falling over the metal surface, they must have that much minimum energy which is called binding energy, and this binding energy is only known as threshold energy. This binding energy is only known as threshold energy because this is the minimum. Threshold means minimum. A parameter is set, that minimum thing we require, that is called threshold. That means this is the minimum level we can tolerate certain things. So that is my threshold. Beyond that we won't be able to tolerate certain things. So that is called threshold. So this is the minimum amount of energy which is required to eject the electron. Until unless this force of attraction is removed, it won't be coming out. To make them to come out, this force of attraction must be removed. And to remove this force of attraction, we need binding energy. So photon must have that much energy at least, and that is where this binding energy is known as threshold energy. So if the photon is containing only the threshold energy, just energy required to remove this force of attraction, then what will happen? Electron will come to the surface of the metal and it will remain over there. It will not move away. Okay, so that is why we need certain more energy than the threshold energy. So one photon should have more energy than this threshold energy, so that the part of the energy which is the binding energy, threshold energy, will be utilized to overcome this force of attraction. Then it will come to the surface, and the rest amount of energy which is remaining with the photon now after removing this force of attraction, that energy will be utilized to have a kinetic energy, and with that kinetic energy this electron will start moving from this metal surface towards the detector. Detector is a positive terminal, and from beyond that detector it will move with this kinetic energy only. So that is why we need a photon which has energy more than the threshold energy. Now I have understood threshold energy also. Okay, thank you. Okay, so photoelectrons are ejected only when the incident light has a certain minimum frequency, which is called threshold frequency. That means energy having this minimum frequency should be supplied. Threshold frequency symbol is mu naught. So the threshold energy and this threshold frequency has got another name. That is work frequency, and the threshold energy, the minimum amount of energy, which is the also binding energy, are called work function. So this terminology you remember, whether it threshold energy or work function, both are same thing. Why it is called work function? Until and unless electron got ejected, there will be no electricity. So this cell would not work; it will become worthless. To make the work, to make them do what full, this electron must be ejected as well as must be transferred, must be made to move from one part to another part in a circuit. So that is why the another name is given work function. Okay, because this much minimum energy is required to have a certain work. Okay. So mathematically you can represent energy of the striking photon or quantum. Energy of the striking photon or quantum. Striking means जो आया और सरफेस के ऊपर स्ट्राइक किया, सरफेस के ऊपर टकराया, सरफेस के ऊपर एब्जॉर्ब हुआ, उसको बोलते हैं स्ट्राइकिंग फोटोन. That is equal to the binding energy. Binding energy is the energy required to remove the force of attraction between the nucleus and the electrons. Okay, and the rest of the energy, that is kinetic energy. So the striking photon must have this much of energy, binding energy plus kinetic energy, ejected electron. If this much energy is there with the photon, then only there will be electricity. So this relationship we should remember. Okay, same thing I have written the second point in another different in the mathematical portion. If the frequency of the incident light, that is nu, if the frequency of the incident light, that is nu, is more than the threshold frequency nu naught. If nu is more than nu naught, nu is incident light, the light, and if its frequency is more than the threshold frequency, then only it will release the electron. Then only it will eject the electron. So what will happen? The excess energy will be imparted to the electron as a kinetic energy. Now energy what? So this can be written in another way. Energy of a quantum, same mathematical relationship, can be written in different way. Energy of one quantum equal to threshold energy, binding energy is the threshold energy, and kinetic energy. Okay, so energy of one quantum symbol is E, threshold energy symbol E naught, kinetic energy symbol K E, and you know that Einstein have given a relationship equal to h nu equal to h nu. So this is the energy relationship. So that's why E equal to h nu, E is replaced with h nu, E naught is replaced with h nu naught, and K is replaced with half mv square. So this is the mathematical relationship of the photoelectric effect. So this is the energy of the photon fall, and this energy of the photon must be equal to the threshold energy plus kinetic energy. If it contains these two energy together, then electron will move. If they contain only h nu naught, then electron will go to the surface and there will be no movement of the electron. But if h nu is equal to the h nu naught plus half mv square, then this will work, and that is why this is called work function. Now half mv square me, what I have written me, this is the mass of electron, and v is the velocity of electron. This v is the velocity of electron, and this me, it is the mass of electron. So remember the symbol, me is mass of electron, v is the velocity of the electron. So this is the final relationship, mathematical representation of the photoelectric. This is the final mathematical representation of photoelectric effect, and the certain other thing we will discuss in another lecture. Okay, thank you.